one night out of the entire year, I could have,
Yeah,
legitimized that purchase. Yeah. So I have the money. I'm actually recording this on my dresser right now in my bedroom. I have the money in my dresser right now. I'm just waiting for the day.
Wait.
What's your address
again? Like, where do you live?
Hey, Brent, if you buy a ticket to Japan, figure out where I live. Figure out where I live, successfully break into my house, and take the money without being arrested. I'm not even going to chase you. You can keep the money.
I can count to 5 in Japanese. I don't think I need much more than that to get around.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 17 of Podcast Reload. It's the general gaming podcast by Sifted.net subscribers, where we invite community guests onto the show to talk about the games industry in all its weird ways. I am your host, Vin Hill, and joining me, as always, is my co-host and fellow Japan dweller, Evan Piotrowski.
Oh, Vin, I'm sorry.
What did I do?
No, it's been a couple months since we've recorded. I've actually changed my last name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It's Evan Piotrowski now.
Okay, cool.
Did I just say? Are you actually what? I'm so confused.
Hello, everyone.
You knew he was worried about screwing up the intro too, and then you just pulled that shit.
So sorry.
You son of a bitch. So I didn't actually say your name wrong.
No, you didn't. No.
He didn't change his name to Piotrowski.
Oh.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. That was probably the worst pun I've ever heard in human history, though. Because the PlayStation right, okay. Right. Yeah, I get it. Right. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Anyway, and joining us as well is our community guest. Well, I shouldn't really say community guest. I'd say staff guest again, Brent Phillips.
I'm in the community. What's up?
Cool, yeah, man. We caught you. You've been a bit on tour recently, you know. You've been on Easy Allies, and then you're on Game Face yesterday. Now we grabbed you for this, so.
I'm very hot right now.
Yeah, you're pretty, you're high in demand, although you are scraping a bit of the bottom of the barrel with us, I would say. But.
I like to think that I'm bringing y'all up rather than stooping to your level.
Well, yeah, we're trying to help you out, man. That's all. We're just
trying to give you that bump.
But no, it's good. It's good to have you on, man. We appreciate it. We know you're pretty busy, so.
Never too busy to podcast.
Hell yeah. Cool. So housekeeping, man. It's been, as Evan said before, it's been a couple of months. I got really busy at work. I'm still really busy at work, but it's time to plow on with this stuff because a lot of people have been requesting us to get back onto the podcast, and rightfully so. So just wanted to say a huge thank you for anyone that's been requesting us to come back. It's really nice to see, actually. Like I thought people would just be like, yeah, all right, whatever, see ya, sort of thing. But it's been cool to see everyone come back. But yeah, I also wanted to say a huge sorry to Erebus Jones. We actually had him on a episode 17 a couple of months ago, which would have been our last episode. But the audio quality was pretty low on that, and we didn't want to put that out because. Well, we didn't want to put that out as our first episode back because we wanted to come back with a bang sort of thing. But we will have Erebus Jones on our next episode, we hope, and if not, very soon into the future. But yeah, do you want to add anything to that, Evan?
No, I think that's fine. Yeah, we're going to get Erebus Jones on as soon as possible. A bit unfortunate, but that stuff tends to happen. But it's great to have Brent on again. His three-peat. For the podcast Reload Reboot Season 2, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What better guest?
I like that. Season 2. It's good.
Yeah.
Should we actually say that Season 2? Is this the official Season 2 start? Is that what we should say?
Sure.
The season premiere.
Season premiere.
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay, I like that. There we go.
Yeah, lots of shows premiere in September, right? The fall.
Sure.
The fall premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, here we are for Season 2 premiere, also known as episode 17. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. We probably will have a few hiccups in this first episode back, but screw it. We got to relearn our feet a little bit, we should say, but it should be good. Going forward, though, we have got a couple of changes. The main change that we've actually got to the podcast is that we've taken away the small three, as it were. So we're not going to have three subjects like we normally do. We realize that the podcast sort of goes on a bit long sometimes, and most of the time it ends on like 1 hour and 15. So we just made the conscious decision to just cut out one of the subjects, basically. So every week we're just going to have a guest subject, and we're also going to have a podcast reload subject. Probably done by Evan most weeks, but yeah, I will still continue to host like a quote-unquote pro, as it were. That was another terrible pun, by the way. I'm glad that everyone missed it because it was so bad. But yeah, it's all good. Evan, I'd say what have we been playing this week, but as it's been a couple of months, like what have you been playing over the last 2 months? Like any notable games?
Let's see. I went back to the States and got my hands on a PlayStation 4 for the second time in my life.
Ooh.
Yeah, the first time was
you touched one? You actually played it? Or
I actually played it, yeah. The first thing I did is got on my brother's PlayStation 4 and downloaded the Resident Evil 7 demo. And, back during E3, I was, you and I were both just shocked that that game was actually a Resident Evil game, and it was going to be Resident Evil 7. And I was interested in the demo, but it wasn't really something that, I couldn't wait to play. But then I got my hands on it, and I played through that demo like 10 times. I don't know if that was just because
how'd you like it that much?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just because it was nice and purty, a lot prettier than my PlayStation 3. But I really liked it. I just kept playing it, and then I went online and looked at what secrets and little things you can do and the different endings and stuff. And I really, really liked that. And then I played a couple other things. I played some Broforce with my friends, which was great. I could see the difference between playing with your friends and just playing alone is absolutely massive. I never had the chance to play with my friends any game at all.
Yeah, I tried to play that game single player not too long ago, and it was just this isn't that fun. But then I watched a stream online of someone playing it with their friends, and they were just having the best time. And I was oh man.
Exactly. Yeah, we were just laughing our asses off. One time my friend died and then would respawn and then died before he realized he was alive again. That's how quickly you die in that game. Yeah, it was a blast. Yeah, you definitely, some games just cater to, having people on the couch playing together. And
yeah, man.
The game that I've actually jumped right into is Yakuza 5. I guess it was free on PlayStation Plus for PS3 a month or two ago.
No, I don't play that old system anymore.
Yeah, I started it up. I think after I got back from the States, and I'm already 60 hours into it. Everyone is waiting for Shenmue 3, and after playing 5, I can say that Shenmue has existed for quite some time, and it's called the Yakuza series, and it does it better than I think Shenmue ever did.
Yeah, Shenmue's kind of been deified over time, and I'm not sure it actually deserved it.
Yeah,
I think it was groundbreaking for the time, but if that game came out now, you'd be like, what am I doing?
Yeah, well, I'm really curious to see how Shenmue 3 gets sort of accepted or received by the public, because I don't know if it's going to hold up. It's going to be weird.
Obviously they haven't really shown us anything, but I don't like playing Yakuza 5, and then I played 4, and 4 left a bitter taste in my mouth because I played it on hard, and that game is ridiculously hard on hard. And then actually, Brent, this goes back to when you were first on the show. We were talking about difficulty in games, and you were easy all the way, man. And something inside me was you know what, screw it. I just went for normal this time. It completely changes the game. I actually had fun with this game instead of almost throwing my control across the room because the boss would just block my attacks just because, and the canned animations and all that Japanese arcadey stuff would just. Yeah, but it's Yakuza 4 is a really good game. Yakuza 5 is even better. It's I don't know. I would argue, well, the fighting, if you want to compare it to a GTA, the fighting is the main draw of the game, and it's better than the fighting in GTA. The GTA games aren't really about hand-to-hand combat like the Yakuza games are, but it's just the game is nuts. Like the sub story, like each chapter has a different character in a different city, and then each character has like different side quests and sub stories, and all the side quests and all the sub stories are just absolutely insane. Like Kiryu, the main character, he's under an alias driving a taxi in Fukuoka. So you have all these crazy like taxi side quests where, for example, there's a drunk guy that you pick up in your taxi, and he's like an angry drunk. And because you're a taxi driver, if you want to get experience, you have to have the gift of the gab. So you just gotta have your the people in your cab enjoy their time. So he's like an angry drunk, so you're trying to calm him down, and then he becomes like a happy drunk, so you kind of play along with it. And then like Kiryu is talking, he's like happy, angry. I'm guessing sad comes next, and then the guy starts crying about his job, and you gotta make him feel better. And when he gets out of the cab, he's like, oh, thanks. You like I was an asshole in the beginning of that that cab ride, but you really picked me up, and then you get more experience points, and just it goes from there to Sapporo, and you're in a jail, and you escape the jail, and you get lost in a storm, and then like a group of hunters finds you and takes you back to this town, and then all of a sudden it becomes this weird hunting game where you're trapping foxes and trying to save these hunters from this
jumps around a lot then,
man-eating bear. And then like the last thing in that side quest is you end up fighting the bear in hand-to-hand combat. It's just
of course, why not? I mean,
yeah. And then it completely flips script, and then the third chapter you play as a bustling idol in Osaka. So it's actually kind of weird to.
It sounds so ridiculous that I want to play it.
Yeah,
like
and it
like
becomes
I wasn't interested in it, but now I'm interested just to look at it.
And then the next one, you're like a failed baseball star who got kicked out of the league for supposedly like fixing games, and you're trying to get your life back together. Like I think any of those chapters that I played so far have been far more interesting than like any side quest or sub story I've ever played in a GTA game. And I just I beat GTA 5 just last year. It's just if anything, it just makes me really, really excited for Yakuza 6, because I just watched some of that footage, and like the lighting and the reflections and like the water and stuff, like that game looks great. I'm like really, really excited to play it. But I'm coming up on the end game of that. I think I probably have about like 10 more hours to play, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's I was surprised. I was surprised that I liked it as much as I did. But yeah, it's a great, great game. I see how Thomas Thorson, I think he's a moderator, right? Our first guest on podcast. Yeah. I can see why that's one of his favorite series. I really got turned around on that series. Although, like, that game looks rough. Muddy textures. Just during cutscenes, people just, if they're walking into you, people just disappear on the street. The pop in is terrible. The draw distance is bad. But I overlooked all of that stuff just because the gameplay is so fun.
Sweet.
Is it getting a Western release? Are you playing it in Japanese?
I played Yakuza 4 in Japanese. I'm playing this one. It got a digital only PS3 release just last year. It originally came out in 2013.
Okay.
So it's made by is Sega, right?
I believe so. Yeah. And then they have like the Ryuga Gotoku studio, the Yakuza studio.
Right, that was it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Sega, but
maybe we'll get a nice remaster collection or something at some point.
Yeah. You never know. There's a couple Yakuza games that haven't made its way over to the Western territories, so I might look at those at some point. Later, but loved it. Having a great time.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. How about you, Brent? What have you been playing?
Shit. When did we last do this?
Just a while ago, man. It was like 2 months ago.
What did we talk about then? I don't know. I played a lot of shit. I played Inside, Quadrilateral Cowboy, Batman, Telltale Adventure, Mobius Final Fantasy, Deus Ex Go, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and Warcraft Legion.
Oh wow! All right, I have a question. Have you played any of the other Go games?
Yeah, I played all three.
Okay, I'm a really big fan of Hitman Go. I liked Lara Croft Go, but I liked Hitman Go better. Where do you throw Deus Ex Go into there?
I think Deus Ex Go is the best, then Lara Croft, then Hitman.
Oh wow! Okay, really? All right.
Yeah, I felt like Lara Croft was more what you were doing fit the puzzle nature of it, and Hitman it was more just like, all right, I just need a timeout with this guy going back and forth.
Yeah,
I realize
I
the
would say
gameplay
that's
of
true.
Hitman isn't that different from Deus Ex, but the Deus Ex one feels more natural, and they've got more stuff going on. You can like remote hack things to distract guards and shit like that. There's a lot going on.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
How about Deus Ex Mankind Divided? Like, did it live up to its name, or?
I've only played it for like 2 hours because
Fair enough.
World of Warcraft came out like the next day.
Oh yeah, you're a big WoW fan though, right? You're still
I am.
still
I
balls
am.
deep in that, right?
Hey, where's that sifted eval? Is that coming soon?
I sent it to Shane, which means he either hasn't gotten to it or it's so bad he's like working really hard on editing it. I'm not sure which.
Well,
Maybe it's a bit of both.
I don't think it's that bad. We'll
No,
see.
I'm joking. I'm sure it's great.
I mean, it is a generally positive eval. I mean, the way Sifted rates games, an MMO is going to do well.
Right.
Like its connectivity, like how do you give that anything other than a 10?
yeah, lots of games suffer because of connectivity.
Yeah, I bet. It's like even just like the offline stuff. It takes.
And I mean, and on top of that, it's a really good expansion.
Yeah. That's good. The last expansion I played for WoW was probably, God, it might have been the first one actually. I think that's when I fell off the boat. But yeah, I just got super busy at life.
I wasn't a huge fan of that one.
Yeah,
I
it was
actually
all right. I mean, it
skipped
wasn't
most of that.
bad. It was just it was sort of lukewarm. But yeah, I heard Ben Crusade was really good because that just basically remapped the whole game. Like the actual landscape physically changed and stuff. So it was apparently everyone was saying it was a nice refresh.
Yeah, Cataclysm did that.
Cataclysm, sorry.
A gigantic dragon flew through the land and made everything better. Yeah,
That was what made everything better.
and then you killed him for it.
Yeah, well, why not? Cool. Any more notable games that you played and really enjoyed, or?
I really liked Inside.
Yeah. It's the Limbo guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why maybe you wouldn't like it, but I really
Right.
liked it. If you watch this trailers or something and you're like, oh, that looks interesting, give it a shot. There's a lot going on there, and it's one of those games that like I'm still thinking about that sometimes. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that type of thing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Limbo, so I'm just waiting for the inevitable like PS4 release of Inside.
Yeah, I played it on PC. I'm not sure what it's out on now, actually.
Might be just Xbox One and PC. I think. I'm not sure.
Sweet.
All right. Vin, how about yourself? What have you been playing the last month or two?
It's by the way, Inside is out on PS4 now.
Oh, are you serious? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I
August
just gotta
23rd.
wait a little bit longer. Buy all the games.
Buy all the games. Yeah, you're going to be so broke in December. It's going to be hilarious.
Oh man, yeah. No Christmas
Be you
presents for
surrounded by
anyone.
video games and eating ramen. That'd be great.
Yeah, just no one gets Christmas presents this year. It's just
Well, you do.
yeah, a lot of them. Vin, how about yourself? What have you been playing?
I've not really like gone crazy into too many games. I just finished Dishonored again, probably since the last time we spoke.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Platinum?
getting ready for
How
the
many
second.
times through that is it for you?
This is the second time. The first time, like I finished it really quick the first time when it first came out, but I just sort of ran through it. I wasn't really being that stealthy about it, and I enjoyed it back then. But this time, I played complete ghost, no alerts or anything. So it
No
took
kills,
a lot
no
longer.
alerts. Yeah.
No kills, no alerts, and it took a lot longer. But it was just a completely different game when you take that into consideration.
Oh,
Just
Did you
feels
play
very
all
different.
the DLC?
No, I've got the PS4 version, so I don't know if that came with the DLC actually.
Oh, really? I
Feels
thought
like
it was
something they would include.
definitive. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it might
like
be actually. I'm not sure. I'll have to go and check.
It's like you play as one of them. You play as the dude that murdered the queen.
Dodd, I think his name is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
yeah. I'll have to double check.
I like that one a lot. It was fun.
I think both are really really good. What is it called? The Knife of Dunwall and the Bridgemore
Yeah, Knife of Dunwall.
Witches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, both of those. Vin, I've ghosted both of the DLC, and those two are totally worth it as well. They're just as good. They're a great expansion of the original game.
Sweet.
I recommend.
Yeah. Yeah, I played that. That was a lot of fun. It took a while though, but I did it. But yeah, the most notable thing which I probably played over the last month or two because I've just been busy is Battlefield. I played Battlefield 1 a lot on the beta.
Oh yeah, I played that too.
Yeah,
Man, God, I hit like level 40 on it or something. Like within,
Jesus.
it was ridiculous. Yeah, I was just oh man, just as soon as like I unlocked the bolt action rifle with like iron sights, I was like, all right, this is getting bought. It's just like that was it.
I feel bad. It's like Brent beats WoW. You're level 40 on Battlefield 1 already. What do I have to show for myself?
Yeah,
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that's not bad.
so how? I mean, Vin, I saw you. You wrote a blog post on Sifted about just some things you wish they would change.
I did.
Yeah, like
Yeah, and the only reason why I say any of that stuff, like I'm not saying the game is bad in any way. Like I love it. Like it's really great. The destruction's great. The physics are great. It feels very good, but it's got like a couple of balancing issues, which I'm sure
It's
are
got
probably
some
going to get
serious
fixed.
balance issues. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, there's
just
there's
the
no way they
tanks.
can leave tanks. Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
ridiculous.
tanks, man, are just. If you're an assault guy, like in Battlefield 3 or 4 or whatever, if you ran into a tank and you're an assault guy with C4 or whatever, you could take care of yourself. You know, you could throw a couple of C4s at it and disable it, and then wait for the guy to jump out to gun him down, sort of thing. But in this one, man, you can throw like 3 anti-tank grenades at him and all your C4, and he's still like rolling along at you. It's like Jesus. Like you need a team in that game. And unfortunately, in Japan, like Japanese players don't really work in teams that well. Like they're all lone wolf snipers, sort of thing. They just do not care about objectives or anything.
that's weird.
So
You
you
think
run-
it'd be the opposite?
I don't
Yeah,
think it's
you would.
Japan.
Just the nature of humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like the amount of times I was just stood there with like 3 other assault guys, like holding down a flag, and a tank rolled over. It's like, boys, if we all just ran at this thing and threw one thing each, we'd take this thing out, no problem. But they all just scatter and run away. It's ridiculous. So that was the only problem. But like balancing with tanks, it's a couple of other weapons that probably need a little tweaking. But other than that, man, the game is, yeah, it's stunning.
It's beautiful.
It's a
Didn't,
beautiful game.
Didn't like 13 million people play the beta or something crazy?
Yeah, 13.
Jesus. That's
Yeah,
a
it was
lot.
that came out in the news, didn't it, yesterday? Jesus, yeah.
So
Yeah,
it-
it doesn't surprise me though. I mean, free download, looks beautiful, great game to play, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be interesting to see what happens with Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1. It seems like just at this juncture, obviously we don't know, but them going back with Battlefield, that choosing World
Yeah, it
War
will
One
be
for their
interesting.
settings seemed like it could pay off big.
I want a story trailer for Battlefield. I want to know what the hell that game's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I. I would play a single player campaign Battlefield 1, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, DICE have always traditionally just given out like free betas every time, whereas Call of Duty aren't as prone to that. So I think there's a lot more people that are going to try out Battlefield 1 before Call of Duty. So yeah, it will be interesting though to see like when them games are released and out and see how they're well received. Like Infinite as well. Like I'd be really curious to see how many people are playing Modern Warfare 1 over Infinite when it comes out. Like I'd really like to see them numbers because yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we should probably move on anyway. We've been talking about what we've been playing for a while, but yeah, so we're going to actually go into our topics now. And as I said, we're not actually doing a small 3 anymore, so we're only got 2 topics. So we'll start off with our guest topic, which is you this week, Brent. What is your topic of the week?
So my topic of the week is video game tie-ins. I sort of talked about
Cool.
before about how I like to really immerse myself in games and like do all this stuff. And
Yep.
for Warcraft Legion, they put out a radio play. That's
Are you serious?
Wow.
it's about. I mean, you guys won't know the characters, but it's some of the events in between the last expansion, the end of the last expansion, and the start of this one, and like it was really good. I really
Sweet.
enjoyed listening to it. I was like, holy shit, why can't I just do all of Warcraft like this? I'll never play it again. It'd be great.
So is it like well voice acted and stuff then, or?
Yeah, it's great. They got the real guys to do it,
Man,
Is there?
I love
as far as
Blizzard.
I can tell.
I mean,
That's awesome.
So it sounds like well produced. Do they have like music or ambient noise or sound effects and stuff to go along with what's going
Yeah.
on? Or
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's why I say radio play as opposed to like audiobook.
Sure, sure.
Right.
You can definitely tell what's going on.
Yeah. I remember listening to. Well, I was trying to listen to an audiobook of Lord of the Rings once, and oh my god, it's the most boring thing in human history. I love Lord of the Rings. I love reading it, but if you
It's a
listen to someone
verbose
else
book,
reading
yeah.
it to you, man, it's hard. But then, like 6 months later, someone passed on a radio play of Lord of the Rings instead. And it's really weird because Ian Holm, the guy who plays Bilbo in the movies, actually plays Frodo in those. So it's really jarring at first, but like they're great. They're so good. Like adding all the sound effects in the background and stuff, like people describing what they're doing instead of some old boring guy trying to describe it to you.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. So is it free? Did it come with a game or what?
Yeah, it doesn't come with the game. You can listen to it right now. It's just like a podcast basically. It's on iTunes.
Sweet, awesome. So how about you, Evan? Have you got any tie-ins that you've liked in the past?
I'm still thinking. I can't. Been thinking hard about it. In between us talking up until now, and I don't know. I was hoping you guys would jog my memory of some awesome tie-in from days gone by. I don't know.
In Evan's defense, I did post this topic like 2 minutes before we started the podcast. So
Yeah,
it's not like you didn't prepare.
This is raw conversation right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think like the best tie-ins which I've seen video games wise, just on a personal level, is probably like all the Halo stuff.
Yeah, they do a lot of good books and stuff.
Yeah, Bungie have done. They invested pretty early on in doing a few books before like Halo. I think it was like during the time that Halo 2 was getting made. But there was a book on a Fall of Reach, and it describes like how Master Chief was like first picked as a kid, and it goes into like how he was trained and stuff before he got his suit of armor and stuff, and like the friends I had. But yeah, it was really like as a Halo fan at the time, like it just. Because what you play in the game is quite ambiguous. Like his past, he just looks like this soulless sort of dude. But the books really like padded him out, Like he was actually a human for once. So yeah, that was really cool. Like Bungie have always done a good job with that stuff.
Yeah, when Deus Ex: Human Revolution came out, they also released a book, and it was like the characters in the book weren't in the game, but they like hung out with characters from the game. Yeah, it was actually like a really interesting book. And then those characters were in Deus Ex: The Fall, that awful mobile game.
I've only heard a story about this.
Yeah, forget that happened. But the book was fun. Yeah, I mean, you play chapter 1 and then it ends, and you never got anything else.
Oh wow, that's pretty bad. From the leaks, like the behind the scenes making of bits that have been leaking out, like apparently. That was a big detriment to the development team, so it doesn't surprise me, actually.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I thought the book was a lot of fun. I was really excited for the game.
Oh, that's cool, though. I mean, yeah, I wish a lot more games actually come out with books and stuff like that, I think, because it really helps like pad out certain characters and stuff. Like some characters which you see in like Halo are just like passive and you don't really know anything about them, but then you read the book and it's like, oh my god, there's like this whole thing about them. So
yeah, I've only read one of them, but there's actually I think quite a few Warcraft books. I read one about Arthas, the dude from Warcraft 3 and Lich King and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like when he was younger, it was interesting.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Like Halo as well. I think Halo have done so much stuff. Did the books.
Massive,
they also did the Forward Until Dawn miniseries. Like there was a whole series of them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they were all right, but they weren't bad either, But yeah, really.
I think I gotta mention the Quantum Break like TV show that was like interweaved within the game.
Yeah, I still haven't played Quantum Break. I need to.
I don't know. I enjoyed the game. There were so many issues with it though; it was hard to enjoy.
Right. That's
like their weird rendering technique made it really hard to for it to look good.
Right.
Like it looked better on the Xbox One than it did on my PC, which is bananas. Just because it was up-resing. It was up-resing like a 720p thing to 1440, and then doing all this weird blurring stuff to it. It just looked super awful. I don't know what they were up to. I'm hoping some user will patch it, but I don't know.
Was that the first game that was supposed to be it was
the first cross-platform one.
Yeah. Maybe they did like they were on borrowed time and just pushed it out before they,
Yeah, I
that
think
whole
it's
thing was
quite
ready.
widely known that port was rushed.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I thought the
Kind of feel
story
bad.
was really interesting and stuff, and I mean the tie-in TV show wasn't as interesting. No, that's not really fair.
Yeah, that's
But
not a
like
good
the,
thing.
the main game story was interesting. I should just find someone that played it on YouTube and watch that. That's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. Did you come up with anything, Evan?
Kind of. Just listening to you guys, I don't think I've ever. Like, I'm not really an expanded universe type of guy. I don't think I've actually read any comic books or books that expanded on the story of a video game ever.
You're missing out, man. You should try it.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been that interested in a video game story to kind of seek out more background information or lore about the overarching story or a specific character or something. I'm really trying to think, like, other than like art books or like the Final Fantasy IX art book, which is amazing.
Yeah, I've still
counts.
got that.
Oh, it's great.
It's great.
It's great. Yeah, I love the thing. I can't think of like any tie-in thing that I've ever purchased, other than things that like I can consume. So like, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't even think this is video games. Like it's like Pizza Hut and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It made the pizza taste better.
Yeah, but did it?
Slimer High
Did it?
Of course it did.
Slimer High C.
Oh, Jesus.
That green shit was probably more dangerous than like drinking 10 Monster Energies in a row. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I don't think I've ever.
Another good one, which I always remember, is the. I don't know if this really counts as a tie-in, but there was a writer in Japan. It also got translated, but someone basically wrote Eco as a novel sort of thing.
That's cool.
But they actually worked with the developers and stuff, so they got quite a lot of backstory. But because that's my favorite game, there was just so much stuff in there. I was like, oh my god, like I wish I knew this before.
Right. Well, especially because the story is so ambiguous.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in Shadow of the Colossus, so I can see how.
Yeah.
You're in. I mean, with those two games, you're in search of any scrap of story you can get. So if someone had released maybe like a tie-in with Shadow of the Colossus that kind of talked about how Wander, what was Mono and Wander's relationship, the village or the town or the city they're from, more about the Forbidden Land. Like I probably would have eaten that up, actually. That might be one of the few if they had ever released something like that.
Yeah, the only thing that I would, because there was, for the longest time, it's still floating around, but the script for the movie version of the Shadow of the Colossus, I hope that never comes through. That's one game I do not want to ever see be a movie. I don't know if I would.
I don't think they'd like cast characters and want to have dialogue, and it's like, no, don't.
Right.
Yeah. If I was a billionaire, I'd just start my own movie studio and like just make that film get made, but
Properly.
It would fall apart, I'm sure. But just like screw the dialogue.
Yeah, there'd
I
be
just
no
want to
dialogue
see.
and there'll be no.
Yeah, just see the
Right.
see the Colossus battles and stuff. In another life, in a different world. I just kind of.
Yeah, when you're rich.
Yeah, when I'm rich. Counting the days.
Counting the days. I'm sure you'll get there, man. Keep pushing. Being that.
No,
English
I
teacher in
mean,
Japan.
it's all a frame of reference. Like, what does rich mean? I think come November 10th or 11th, I'll consider myself a rich man because I'll have my PlayStation 4 Pro.
Nice. You'll be the richest console gamer.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so next topic. Do you want to talk about, Evan? Bring it up.
Yeah, and, I know every podcast in the entire world or every video game podcast in the entire world has covered this, but I just thought we'd
Serial did an episode on it.
Yeah, pretty right. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. But my topic is cheesily named GoPro or Go Home. So I just wanted to talk about the PlayStation 4 Pro. And one reason I wanted to talk about it is just, I think, my, not perspective on it, I don't know, is a bit, my situation is a bit unique because I have never owned a PlayStation 4.
Right.
And I've never owned a current gen system, and I don't play PC games. I've strictly been playing PlayStation 3 and a Wii U for the last handful of years.
You poor man.
Yeah,
You're gonna be blown away, man. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
I take that for granted because, like, I mean, we're playing all these games, and you always see these people online complaining, like, "Oh, the PlayStation 4 isn't that much of an upgrade and stuff." It's like if you go and play the PS3 for
It's a huge upgrade to the
lengthy period of
PS3.
time,
Yeah,
it's huge. It's huge. It's massive. So
I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that the PS4 and the Xbox One both were underpowered for new consoles to be released at that time,
right.
but it's still a huge upgrade over the 3 and the Xbox 360.
Yeah, like I've never even toyed around with like anything on the PlayStation 4, like the PlayStation shop, whatever, what is it called?
The store.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the PlayStation Store. Anything like download speeds, nothing. I know
Right.
like nothing about it. So I'm
They are bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just set it and then go to sleep. When you wake up, it'll be done.
That's the good thing about it, though. I mean, all the what you call it, like the background downloading and stuff is really convenient. Like
yeah,
if you
I really like that.
Yeah, like if you've got your console in rest mode or whatever, like if it's quote unquote off, then and you're at work or whatever, and you buy a game on your phone, you can actually download it to your system while it's off, sort of thing.
Yeah, I've seen on the app. I've seen the option, but obviously I can't use it. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be nice when I can use that, like counting the days down.
I mean, I've used that a ton of times, and it's great. Like, yeah, I'm rarely like on my system actually buying games like in the actual store on the system. So if I buy it on my phone or whatever, like it's normally downloaded by the time I get home. But
Right.
Yeah, that's an awesome feature.
yeah, God, it's the greatest thing.
And yeah, after that whole presentation, like we can argue whether or not, like, who is this system for, like why does it exist, that type of thing. But for a first PlayStation, I think it's like an awesome deal.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's perfect for you, man. I think when you ask, like, who is this for, I would openly argue that it would be for anyone. You know, it's an optional thing. But for someone buying a console for the first time, you know, this is great. Like, how is this not a good thing?
I mean, the question isn't who's the Pro for. The question is who's the Slim for. And only $100 at $100 less. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
Like, if you don't have that $100, you shouldn't be buying a console at all.
And I think that's only for the 500 gig version. If you want the terabyte version, isn't it like $350?
Yeah, you're like already in there.
So then for $50 more, you get the Pro.
PlayStation Pro.
No, you're right. I don't know. We talked about this on my podcast, and Adam was like, "Oh, just buy the Slim." I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, I'll just mail you $100. Please, just get a Pro. Like, don't,
Yeah.
don't waste your time."
And then in Japan, it's a bit different because it's the equivalent of $450. Which,
but isn't the Slim the same?
the Slim is $300. And
that makes
then
no sense. So the Slim prices are the same.
The Slim price is the same.
Price...
Yeah, the Pro price is different. Now, I actually talked to a friend of mine, and you know, I shouldn't really be complaining because there's other territories in the world that get absolutely screwed with.
Yeah, like Australia.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, especially. But I talked with a friend of mine who knows stuff about this, and I guess it's just, Vin, when we were talking about like seeing how much something is on Amazon Japan and then looking at Amazon.com, and it's like, don't even bother because the deal is in the US, Amazon.com is always better. It's that type of thing where the US is a very unique situation where the retailers have more power to dictate pricing than the manufacturers do. So like the MSRP doesn't mean as much in the States because they'll say, well, you know, Amazon will say, well, guess what? We're not going to, stock your PlayStation 4 unless you give it to, unless we're able to sell it at this price. But from
crazy.
what I gathered, and this is all surface level stuff, but just basically what I gather from at least what he told me about Japan is that the retailers don't have any power and the manufacturers do. And that's why, Vin, you've seen stores in Japan. It's like you'll see a PlayStation game. It's like $80. You'll see a game for $72,
Up and
for
down.
$65, for $90. It's all over the place because the manufacturer, the company, can dictate the price.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so I guess when they were looking at this, it's like, well, Sony's like, well, we can slap another $50 onto this, and they did, and that's it. So
Yeah, I did not know that. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
yeah, you go to the store, it's just like all the prices are all over the place. Like there is no $59.99 in Japan. Like that.
Yeah, I don't
that
buy
does not
games in
exist.
I'm all digital for a good reason.
Yeah. So for me, it's just one of those things. Like it's been 3 years since the PlayStation 4 released. I've waited so long. Like
might
I'm
as
not
well
going
go
to
the extra month.
half-ass my purchase. Like I will throw down the extra money to get the best. Because it's like if I got the Slim, then why didn't I just buy the original PlayStation 4 in the first place?
Yeah.
It would be like a waste of 3 years in some line of thought.
Right. I
some
mean,
line of thinking.
that 3 years of playing games was worth more than the $100 difference.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I have benders on Saturday night that cost more than $100. So if I just said no to my friends one night out of the entire year, I could have
Yeah.
legitimize that purchase. Yeah. So I have the money. I'm actually recording this on my dresser right now in my bedroom. I have the money in my dresser right now. I'm just waiting for the day.
Wait.
What's your address
again? Like, where do you live?
Hey, Brent, if you buy a ticket to Japan, figure out where I live. Figure out where I live, successfully break into my house, and take the money without being arrested. I'm not even going to chase you. You can keep the money.
I can count to 5 in Japanese. I don't think I need much more than that to get around.
I mean, maybe sometime next month I'll open my my sock drawer and lift up.
Picture of Brent stealing
Lift
money.
up and I'll do a
selfie with it.
Yeah, I'll just do a slow clap and then I'll just save the money up again. But
Go back to Yakuza.
yeah.
Challenges.
But yeah, like in regards to like the power of it though, man, like are you totally okay with like the difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro? Like how do you guys feel about that?
Brent, do you want to tackle this first? For me, it's not that big of a deal just because it's like I'm already in with the system. I'm going to buy it because I never had a PlayStation 4,
Right.
so I don't feel like I was screwed. I don't feel like it's some sort of weird half step. I'm just happy to finally get one. I'm just willing to pay that extra money to, to get the top of the line for, this year.
Well, we're kind of in this weird section now where, obviously they're updating PS4 games to look good on the Pro, and like that's cool, and it'll still look good on the regular PS4. But eventually, like the Pro will probably be the primary target, and then everything's going to look dumbed down as opposed to the Pro being like spruced up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to feel a little left behind if you didn't get it.
I mean, what do you guys?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? Like, I think there was a.
It seems like a tangible difference. So
Yeah, like I think a story popped up on Sifted. Like they just a lot of places are showing like the trade-in value for the PlayStation 4. Are you guys thinking about doing that? Vin, how about you?
Yeah, to an extent. I'm not sure. Like I'm not in a rush to get it. Like like when it comes out in November, I'm not going to be sat there like, oh man, I really wish I had a Pro, because I don't really get that much benefit out of it like without a 4K TV, and I think that's the big thing at the minute.
See,
it's cool.
That's not true. You do. All that power is going to go into like frame rates and extra resolution and shit. Like instead of this 900p shit, it'll be for real.
Yeah, when I say like not right away, I mean like I'd probably look again at Pro next year, maybe like in the middle of next year. Like, yeah, I'm totally cool with just having the 30 FPS versus the 60 for another 6 months.
Sure.
For now, like I'm in no rush for it, sort of thing.
I mean, is that tied to kind of like because you're going to be heading to the States in the next couple
Yeah,
of
I mean,
months. And
it's
you need
obviously
to,
down to like personal preference and stuff as
Sure,
well.
sure.
I mean, it just depends what people want, you know. Like if they want higher frame rates, then yeah, get a Pro. Like, but if you're one of these people that care about like the 4K over the performance, and you haven't got a 4K TV yet, like there's so many like weird, you know, variables like within this purchase. Like it's one of the weirdest consoles I've ever seen. But the best thing which Sony did was just leave like the marketplace is the same, so all the same games run on it, all that sort of stuff. So it's completely optional. So I mean, I
if
think it's great, but
if the quote end of the console generations begins, and that really just means that everything's compatible with everything else, like by all means, do it.
oh man, yeah, if the PS5 comes out and every PS4 game is compatible,
Yeah, why not?
oh yeah, like
mean-
it start great things.
If it's the same architecture, it doesn't really sound like it'd be that bad.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is the big thing that everyone's talking about. Like, oh, what happens when the PS5 comes out? But it's like every system now is PC architecture based. Every system. Like that wasn't the case last gen. So, yeah, they can do it. I just hope they do.
Yeah.
Backwards compatibility all the way, man.
yeah, hope so. I'm just, I don't know. I'm easy. Like I'm not arguing anything. Okay, I'll bring up one more thing about the system, and this is something that some people have pretty strong feelings about. Other people say just calm down. Like, why do you care so much? Is the whole it doesn't support? It doesn't have what is it? A 4K UHD Blu-ray player in it.
Right.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
can see why that's weird, but I don't get.
I don't
I
get
get why Sony didn't do it too.
right. And one argument I've kind of heard is I don't know, that presentation was it like they barely talked about things like frame rate in that presentation. They were really, really pushing, you know, the narrative of 4K and high dynamic range to the point
That's
where
an easy one, though.
yeah, well, to the point where it's like they kind of want to sell some TVs along with this thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to remember, like, frame rate doesn't sell games as much as a game looking good. You know, like if you've got a 4K screenshot next to a 1080p screenshot that's running in 60 FPS, like which looks better? You know, like that stuff
Yeah.
sells games. Like frame rate does not sell as
Right.
many games. It does to the core players. Don't get me wrong, but to the vast majority of people out there, they just want something that looks better.
Right,
You
but
know,
then
that's
they have this narrative, and then people are watching it on like, you know, a shitty stream to where they wouldn't even.
I mean, how
know
else
the
do you do that
difference.
though? You know, it's tough. I mean, it was a terrible presentation. It was a really bad meeting. Don't get me wrong, but like, if someone sat me down and was like, "All right, how can we sell this 4K TV to people watching this live stream on like 720p?" You know, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I have no idea, dude.
But
You
then
got me.
if it's the case where like, yeah, they're like, hey, things look better with this system, and if you buy a 4K TV, it is worth it.
You gotta put them in stores and shit. You gotta
Yeah.
see it.
But then
Sure.
don't you think it would have been a good idea? Like if they're pushing for TVs, why wouldn't you have the 4K UHD or the 4K Blu-ray player in there to show them like this is how movies will look on this thing?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that's the future, man. It's streaming. Like I haven't bought a disc movie in however many years.
Hey, man.
I mean, a lot of people
I
still
think that's
do.
it. I think that's it. I mean, you got to look at the percentage of people out there that have got 4K TVs is pretty low right now. The percentage of people that have got like HDR compatible TVs are way lower than that. And you know,
Right.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think, like Brent says, everyone's streaming. Like I've got a MacBook Pro and I haven't got an optical drive in it. I have never needed one ever. Like my PlayStation 4 right now has never had a disc inside it. Like I'm all digital, completely.
Yeah, every now and then you'll buy something that has like a CD with drivers on it. You're like, what do we do with this?
Yeah,
And
right.
you just go on the website and download the drivers and you're done.
Exactly.
Like, it's-
Like I've done that before as well. Like I downloaded drivers from my Cintiq like tablet, like from the website, even though it came with a disc. You know,
Right.
it's just completely useless.
And but like, what about your average? I guess an average family or something. That maybe they're not even really interested. Like the PS4 Pro, $400.
Exactly.
No, I
Like,
don't.
they're not
I don't
gonna
want
buy a
that.
Pro.
Yeah.
They'll probably buy a Slim, where they don't care anyway.
Or I don't know. You know, like
I was just kind of
go ahead.
sorry. I was just kind of surprised the Slim wasn't like $249. I feel like $299 was actually kind of high for it.
Yeah.
Well, if you
For
compare
essentially
it,
a 3-year-old product. I mean,
if you compare it to the Xbox One S, that system's a way better deal. It's got more going for it. For
I
the
get it, but the
price.
Xbox One S does 4K.
Yeah, and
Yes.
and the base model has a terabyte hard drive.
And it has the infamous sort of Blu-ray drive, which everyone's complaining that isn't in the PS4.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
just feel like if they'd done $199 or $249, you would have really been in this position. Like, Jesus, how do I not get a PS4 if it's $199?
yeah,
And then
like
if you're like,
take
well,
your
if I'm
pick.
serious about it, go ahead and get the big one.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I suppose like $150 between them two versions. You know,
Yeah.
you look at Slim and a Pro, $150
Yeah.
is quite a bit, but 100, you know, you can really debate that $100, like even down to the hard drive size, to the form factor. It's like
Yeah,
there's so much
I think that's
stuff.
an easy choice. And I think
Yeah.
it should have been a harder choice.
Yeah, and you know, like if they would have done something like that, it's like you might totally shove the Xbox One out of the picture. It's like take your pick. I mean, you can go
Yeah.
slim. It's like, you know, there's like 40 million PlayStation 4s out there. You've got those people looking for the next thing possibly, and then the people that know, like their friends are on PS4 already. They've migrated over from the Xbox, and it's like, yeah, it's like you got two choices. And it could have been good. And actually, the whole Blu-ray thing, like, I don't care about that stuff either. I was just trying to pose the question, like, is it?
No, it's a good
is it
question. I
viable?
mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like a
care.
hot
I'm
topic, and I
I'm
don't
a streaming
get it.
guy as well. It's not
Yeah.
why I'd buy my PlayStation 4 Pro anyways. I'd play it for the games.
Yeah, I think that's what people need to look at, like the games that are getting up in arms about it. Like, I understand why they're sort of angry about it, but you've got to look at the mass market. You've got to look at the percentage of people that want that. Like, would you like that optical drive in there and then have the console be an extra $25, or would you just take that out and like have the 5% that are angry about it just to complain? You know, like I'd prefer the less price on it, basically. So.
Oh, you're saying if you were Sony, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
you gotta
yeah,
look at it from
yeah.
their perspective.
I mean, I'm sure they've I don't know. They were behind but behind the scenes they did the numbers, they had the meetings, and they decided no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff doesn't happen by accident. You know, they're not being
No, yeah.
evil or whatever. It's like yeah. Yeah, so you're definitely getting one, Evan. How about you, Brent? Are you looking to invest and trade in and grab one, or?
I pre-ordered one while we were talking about it.
Sweet.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Yeah, so we have
Yeah, that should be over.
2 people that are getting it, and then one that'll eventually get it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll eventually get it. Like, I'm not going to wait for a price drop or anything, but like, yeah, I'm in no crazy rush to get it like day one. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see like certain games run at higher frame rates. I'm excited to see some games in 4K if I eventually get a 4K TV. Like, it'll be nice. You know, it's optional. That's the great thing about this system. You know, it's an iteration which we've only really seen from like cell phones and stuff. So like Apple have been doing it for years. It's really great
Yeah.
to see the console industry to actually move into that space, because it'll be great for gamers just to have that option. You know, like these consoles are in between like the halfway mark. Like, it's great. I can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah,
all
the
optional.
only I absolutely cannot wait for this thing to come out. The only difficult decision I have is, do I buy Persona 5 on the PlayStation 3 now, or wait until November to play it on the PlayStation 4?
Yeah, I mean,
Because it got released Thursday in Japan.
man,
Persona
I'm so
5.
jealous of you. You've got so many great games to get through. You know that, like, so many.
Oh, I think eventually we're gonna have a podcast about, like, I want to throw it out to the Sifted community. Like, let's
Right,
make a
the
top
best
10
games.
games of that I should buy for the PlayStation 4. But
Yeah, that'd be great. We should do
Yeah.
that next episode, actually. So yeah, if anyone's got any suggestions, make sure you comment, and we'll definitely we can start like building a list for Evan. The poor guy, he's been so
my-
deprived.
I got to add to that. I got to add to that stack of cash in my sock drawer for all those games I'm gonna buy.
So yeah, you're gonna get that system and be like, oh wait, now what do I do?
I've got no money because Brent stole it all.
Could have bought tons
Cool,
of games, but I angered a ninja.
Good ninja. Well, good. Okay, cool. So we should move on to our content callouts. So we haven't done this in a while, but yeah, do you want to kick us off, Brent? What is your content callout from Sifted.net of the week?
Yeah, I mean, this was actually the trailer of the week on Game Face, but it was really effing good. It's the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare story trailer.
Oh yeah.
And it pretty much sold me the game. Like, I was really lukewarm on Infinite Warfare. Like, great, another future space shooter. But, like, this looks really solid. Like, I want to play that campaign.
It's very, very rare that a marketing campaign behind a game like really turns me around on something. And just like even now, if you go back and look at that first trailer for Infinite Warfare that they showed like before E3, God, it was terrible. It was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. It's just horrific. But like progressively, each trailer that comes out for it, it just looks better and better. And like yeah, the trailer which they showed on Game Face yesterday, it was great. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not really into shooters, though, are you, Evan? But
oh no, I mean, I play a lot of first-person shooters. I don't play like online competitive
the multiplayer stuff. Yeah.
But like, hey, like 2 words, Jon Snow. Like that got me interested. I love Game of Thrones.
He doesn't seem like a villain.
He does not seem like a villain at all. That is, yeah.
They're the best ones, though. You know, the ones that don't look evil right away. You know.
But they put a scar across his face. It's like, okay, now he's bad.
That's how
that'll do it.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
He's just really bad at ironing. That's all.
Yeah, but yeah, it looked cool. It was a good trailer.
Yeah, no, it was very cool. How about you, Evan? What is your content call out?
My content call out is more of not necessarily a call out, but more of a recent addition to Sifted, which is a little old at this time, but we didn't really cover it that much because we had been absent during the summer. Is just the achievements, and I thought,
Did forget about that.
Yeah, I thought this episode in particular would be a good time to bring it up because two people that worked really, really hard on it are on the podcast now. So Brent and Vin, I'd say thank you very much for your hard work. I think it's an awesome addition to the site. And I think a lot of Sifted members really, really like it. So thanks, guys.
All for you, buddy.
Yeah, I am currently the top achiever with 43 achievements. So
I see why you brought it up now. Get out of here, man.
Are you really? That's
Just
ridiculous.
screw you. It was like, oh, look at it, he's so nice. It was like, oh, actually, you know, I'm the best.
I will say, I've farmed 2 achievements. And I'm going to farm 1 more, just because I know there'd probably be I'd probably get them like a year later. The VR achievement, like consume 500 pieces of VR content, because I don't really do that much. Although a lot of things are linked. You know, if like you talk about it in Game Face, then that would be linked to a.
Watching Game Face is good for achievements.
Yeah, it's links a lot of stuff. And then there was 1 more the finance one was like Money Man. Consume like 500 pieces of finance content. So I've done that, but all the other ones just naturally. I think my best achievement I've received is consume 3,000 pieces of Japan content. It's called Rising Sun, which is
I did see you get that one. I was like, how ridiculous. The hell did you get that?
I was not farming that. That's for sure. But it's cool when you're not. Like farming is, I don't know, but I don't want to do that, right? That's not kind of the point of it. But I just like when you just click on one article and then it pops up. It's like, oh, okay, you know, this is like a year and a half coming, and I finally got it. So like that, that type of stuff is really, really cool. But yeah, achievements are awesome. I created the achievement center thread where I'm documenting all of the achievements that have been unlocked so far. If you have an achievement that is not on there, send me a post and I'll update it. Another shout out to FSB Alston for basically formatting that whole document for me. He sent me a spreadsheet that we share, and he is a fucking Excel master. That thing is amazing. Yeah, so huge shout out to him. It wouldn't have been possible without him. But yeah, achievements, guys. Thanks for your hard work. They're awesome.
Oh, you're welcome, man. But yeah, like I do have to make a side note. I have not given Evan the list. I promise you. I swear to God, I've been really, really good. Like he hasn't asked me for them. I haven't offered them. Nothing.
That would be that'd be so shitty for me to include a top 10 in my own thread, but then also be in on it. That's like some CS:GO fucking
Yeah, I'm just gonna go grant myself every achievement and then claim victory.
Yeah, like Brent automatically wins. It's got the back door to it all, yeah. All right, Vin, what's
Cool.
your content call out of the week?
My content call out is probably a bit, controversial, but like I've been really loving like the Last Guardian stuff which have been shown, and I know a lot of people are complaining about it. Like Polygon did an article on it. I know Shane isn't too hyped on it with the old camera system, but man, God, that game looks a lot like Eco, and Eco is my favorite game of all time, so I'm all over it. I mean, I understand that like a lot of people are going to find it like archaic and stuff, like the camera and the way the character moves and stuff. But God, yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this looks a lot like Eco. And I won't even defend it. Like, I'm not going to say that, no, you should give it a chance or anything like that. Like, I literally do not care about anyone else. I just want to play this game.
I'm the same. I'm the same thing. It's like, I know it's for me. It's probably not for you, but I know it's going to be for me. It's probably
exactly
like Matt with No Man's Sky. He's like, this game is for me. If you don't like it, you have problems with it, yeah, you're fine. Yeah. I was going to say, just my content call-out should have been the whole Last Guardian delay, which I'm happy about because it was supposed to come out in October, and I would have to wait like a grueling 3 weeks to get my PlayStation 4 Pro, and now I can play it like on the release date. So, for selfish reasons.
When I was playing Battlefield 1, the whole time I was just playing Battlefield 1, I was completely sucked into it. I was just starting to think, oh man, I'm going to get to play this game for like 5 days before The Last Guardian comes out. And then The Last Guardian got delayed, and I was like, you know what? That's sort of a beautiful thing. Because now I've got 2 months shooting people in the face in the desert. This is going to be great. So, yeah, it works out. It's going to be good. But, I understand people's anger about it. I understand that people aren't going to enjoy it, but screw them. I'm going to love it. I can't wait. It's going to be good. Yeah, we're coming up to the end of the podcast now, and just want to say a massive thank you to Brent, obviously, for joining us, man. Thanks a lot. I know it's been a bit short notice.
Sure, man.
Yeah, especially with the you being on tour and stuff, going around doing the rounds, being all famous.
Very popular.
Yeah, the Brent is like, also on top of that, Brent is like the Reload equivalent of like Pulp Fiction's The Wolf. He just, in any pinch...
Yeah.
Just
like,
shows
up
up
and tells how it's done.
Yeah. Just come and save the podcast for us. So thanks for always being available or making time for us.
That's a really nice comparison. I appreciate that.
The Wolf.
Yeah, the Wolf and Pulp Fiction.
I'll take it.
Just don't kill us. We're nice people. You can steal Evan's money, but just don't kill us. Just want to say a massive thank you for everyone that's again been requesting the podcast to come back. We apologize for the absence. It was pretty much totally on me, just because of like how crazy busy I've been at work, and obviously the delay for South Park has finally been announced. So yeah, I don't have to pretend to be not busy anymore when I'm actually, everything's going crazy right now. But yeah, I do apologize. We are back now at a regular schedule. So yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you do want to come onto the podcast, just let Evan know on the site. Just message him, let him know where you are, like time zone wise, and what microphone you've got, and we will try and get you on the podcast as soon as we can. We know we got a bit of a backlog from last season, quote unquote season, and we will give high priority to all them people. But if you've been on the podcast before and you want to be on it again, just let us know, and we'll try and get you on as soon as we can.
Yeah, I do have the list. If you've asked to be on the podcast, you are on the list, and I will be sending emails out.
We haven't started again.
No, you haven't been erased. I'll send emails out and get you on, when possible within the next month or two.
Sweet. So, with that, do you guys want to give out your Twitter handles and any goodbyes you got? We'll start off with you, Brent. What is your Twitter handle and your sign off?
I am UltimateBrent. And my sign-off is goodbye.
I like it.
Wow. That sounded like a last goodbye, the way you said that.
I know. Are you dying? Have you got... What's happening?
Did you, I don't know. I was going to say something. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it was too much World War.
Didn't stop you before.
That's pretty good. I have nothing to say to that.
How about you, Evan?
You can find me at the stand user on Giant Bomb, Twitter, and Sifted. And Vin?
I am at Vin Hillart. You can find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Sifted, of course, with all of us. We'll all be hanging around there, talking and bitching and generally loving games as we do. But we also have a Twitter handle for the actual podcast now, so if you want to go and follow that, that'd be great. We're actually podcast_reload. You can find us on there. We're going to update all the episodes there and any news that we've got. So yeah, come and find us, and we will come and we'll say hi to you. So for that, a massive thank you again from all of us here, and we will catch you guys next time. So ta-ta.
See ya.
Sayonara.
Bye.